So if you've ever spent any time on websites like Amazon or different like camera selling websites to look for a camera kit, you've probably come across deals like this that are just absolutely stuffed to the gills with these various accessories and attachments and cheap filters and microfiber cloths and everything. And at face value, you might be thinking, wow, that is a great deal. I'm getting so much more for my money. But here's the thing. A lot of those accessories are absolute garbage. They're mostly cheap imitation equipment. The SD cards are ones made with the cheapest of materials that will likely fail at some point. If there's anything like a tripod or a carrying case, it's not really going to be very sturdy. It's not going to protect or hold your equipment very well. And a lot of the times you're just going to get a lot of extra stuff that you're just gonna toss anyway and replace later on down the line. So in my experience, it's always been better to figure out what accessories you actually need. If you're going to get some kind of photo accessory, find the places where something can be improved, whether it's ease of use or battery life or something, or quality of the photos. And identify where your actual needs are and buy the things that actually fulfill those needs rather than just getting as much stuff as you can possibly get. That way, not only are you addressing those specific needs that you have, but you're also reducing clutter by not getting all of that useless junk that you're just gonna throw away. So today, I'm gonna talk about my 5 favorite camera accessories. Now, before we really get into it and start talking about the gear, I do have to preface this by saying a lot of the stuff I'm going to talk about comes from a company called Smallrig. They're very much known for their camera cages, but they also do a really great job of making little accessories and little gadgets that solve very specific problems or allow you to have very specific conveniences at not a very unreasonable price. And so I really love all of their products. I have a lot of their products, and I'm going to talk about a few of them today, but none of this is sponsored. I bought all of this stuff with my own money, and I do use all of this stuff on a day-to-day basis. So first up is this guy right here. This is the Smallrig SR-RG1, and it's basically, as you can see, a selfie stick. But in addition to that, it also has a detachable remote. So a remote trigger for your Sony camera that just attaches onto the handle like a magnet. You can easily take it on or off. It charges with a USB-C. It's wonderful, and it's always been super reliable for me. The handle itself expands to a little tripod like this, so you can easily set this down on like a tabletop and then quickly pick it back up to transition from those like stationary shots immediately to a walking shot and have a good hold of it. It's got an adjustable head so that you can rotate and tilt to adjust whatever camera position you would like, and it does also extend just a little bit. The biggest thing for me, and the reason why I bought this, is because of this remote right here. So all for about $90, I got the remote as well as this tripod, which was kind of like the perfect setup for doing things like this, where I didn't need to set up a big tripod, I didn't need to set up a big light or anything. I could be out in the middle of somewhere, pop this down, and then pick up the remote and be able to remotely start and stop the videos of, me talking into the camera without having to go and stop the camera myself. Now, one thing I will mention is that this handle is really meant for smaller vlogging style cameras. It's not really meant for a big bulky DSLR. So what you'll find is that when the arm is extended like this, it does have a good amount of play, especially if you've got a heavier camera on it. Next up is another really cool gadget from Smallrig, and that is this guy right here, the 6-inch suction cup. So for only $100, this suction cup allows you to expand the types of shots that you can get and allows you to get some really cool and unique perspectives, especially when it comes to things like moving shots or driving shots. So for that $100 price tag, you do only get the suction cup on its own, but it does have a lot of mounting holes on it that you can use to mount things like this magic arm that I've got on it right now, or potentially a tripod head, Now, this one suction cup on its own can hold up to 8 kilograms, which is around 17 pounds, and you can use it at speeds of up to 50 miles an hour if it's mounted on the outside of your car. But one thing that has really impressed me with this is that this feels super sturdy. I've never had a single failure yet, and I've taken it on multiple trips. I've taken it off-road. It has stayed solidly attached and mounted everywhere that I've put it, as long as you have a nice, clean, and flat surface. But keep in mind that this isn't just something you can use on a car. You can use this on plenty of interior surfaces as well to get shots that you otherwise wouldn't be able to. You can even use this with the little plastic protecting base as its own little tripod. So given how sturdy it is and how versatile it is, as well as the impact it can have to your videos and your photos in the variety and uniqueness of shots that you can get, I think this is definitely worth your money. If you're someone like me that does a lot of things traveling, that does a lot of things out, driving and, moving around and stuff, having something like this is absolutely essential, and it has been a game changer. Next up, we have this. This is my 2 to 5 stop Polar Pro variable ND filter. And this filter lives pretty much on the front of my lens at all times. Now, I will say this particular filter is rather expensive, and you definitely don't need to get this specific one, but I do think a 2 to 5 stop variable ND filter is absolutely essential for any hybrid shooter or filmmaker. So why specifically the 2 to 5 stop variable ND filter? When you're shooting video, you're going to be somewhat restricted by what shutter speed you can use. Generally speaking, you're going to be shooting at double what your frame rate is, right? So if you're shooting at 24 frames per second, you are going to be at a shutter speed of around 1/50 or 1/60. And that's to make sure that you get the most natural of motion blur and everything when your subjects are moving around and it doesn't look choppy. That also means you're going to be letting a lot of light into your shot. So if you are outside, if it's a bright daylight situation and you want to get creamy bokeh in the background and you want to shoot your lens wide open, you can certainly bring your ISO down. If you're locked in on your shutter speed and you're locked in on your aperture, your shot might still be too bright, and so what can you do to fix that? Your only option is to essentially put some sunglasses in the front of your camera. So while this filter will run you around $250, there are still some really compelling options out there that will have similar performance and allow you the same flexibility as this 2 to 5 stop variable ND filter. Now, I will say, in my experience with filters, you're generally going to want to spend, at least with variable ND filters, probably at least a little over $100, $120, somewhere around that range, in order to get an acceptable amount of performance. Otherwise, a lot of times ND filters that are on the cheaper side can add a unpleasant and kind of purplish or greenish color shift to your images. So if you're a filmmaker, you know that light is absolutely essential. And in a lot of cases, controlling your light is absolutely essential. And so that's where this little guy comes in. The Lumecube Panel Go is by far my favorite little panel light that I've ever used. Generally speaking, these little panel LEDs a lot of times are not very good. You've probably seen them in places like Best Buy, the big and bulky ones that seem like they're a great deal, and they're like 30, 40 bucks, but they're made super cheaply. The light doesn't look very good, and the diffusion on them absolutely sucks. The Lumecube, though, is a little bit different. This one comes with this handy little rubber diffuser that I can very easily take off and put back on if I want the light to be a little bit harsher. And you can probably already see how much of a difference the harshness in light is with just this diffuser. It becomes very soft and pleasing. In addition to that, this light is a bicolor LED, which means it can go from really, really cool to really, really warm. And right now, it might be a little bit hard to tell that it's changing colors because it's actually at 1% brightness right now. Yes, you heard me. This is 1% brightness. And with 1% brightness, with about a third of the battery left, this thing should be able to go for 4.5 hours at this brightness. But watch how bright this thing can get. I'm gonna go from 1% all the way to 100%. It's so bright right now that even if I hold it all the way up here, it's still kind of a little too bright for this shot, and this shot is only at ISO 320. Now, at 100% brightness, the battery life does go down quite a bit, but the good news is you are rarely ever going to need 100%. A lot of times I find myself at 20 to 30%, and I can easily prop this up on like a tripod or a light stand because it's got a couple of mounting holes on the side so that I can prop this up as like a accent light. I can put it back on that shelf over there and have some kind of like accent light in the background, which I'm actually gonna do for the rest of this video. And finally, we have the Hawklock quick release mounts from, you guessed it, Smallrig. So right now, I don't actually have this product in my hand because I'm currently using it on my camera, actually mounted to that suction cup that we were talking about earlier. But as you're gonna see in the B-roll, the Hawklock quick release is basically a super sturdy, it's a super small factor quick release that you can mount to basically any standardized camera mounting plate. So including the base itself and the plate that actually connects to your camera or light or accessory is about $40. And what it basically allows you to do is to universalize your mounting ecosystem. You can place one of these base plates on every single tripod that you have, every single accessory that you will use to mount your camera. For example, if I have a couple extra ones, I would put one on the Smallrig handle, I would put one on the suction cup mount, and I would put one on each of my tripods. And what that's gonna allow me to do is use one singular mounting plate connected to my camera, and I can quickly release the camera and mount it to a new tripod or a new accessory with the flick of a button. It is incredibly sturdy, it is incredibly lightweight and a small form factor, so it's not gonna get in the way of things. You can even get multiple packs of the mounting plate as well, and you can do something like putting that onto a light so that you can quickly switch where your lights are mounted between tripods. With this, I can keep the Hawklock mounting plate on my camera at all times, and I can put it on any of the accessories that I've decided to put the base plate on. And you can buy the base plate on its own for just around 20 bucks, but given that right now that quick release, the entire system with the mounting plate is only $25, I highly recommend that you go out and pick up a couple of these on your own. So that's it, guys. Those are my 5 favorite camera accessories that I have. They all solve very specific problems or add a lot of versatility to my kit. Each item on its own is not terribly expensive, and the great thing is I don't have a million of these random things lying around. Everything I have has a purpose and a use case that is very specific to me and what I need it for. And that has helped me reduce a lot of clutter and get rid of a lot of those unnecessary things that often come with those big flashy bundles that you see on Amazon. And if you're not a photographer, these things will make excellent gifts for your photographer friend or family member. So obviously I don't have all the money in the world and I can't cover every single cool camera gadget that is available out there. So if there's something that you really like, something that's unique, that solves a problem for you, or that adds a lot of versatility that you really love having as part of your camera kit, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to check out your guys' recommendations as well. If you want to pick up any of the stuff that I talked about today or the equipment that I use to shoot my videos, you can use the links down below. It goes to my Amazon affiliate account where I will get a small commission from the sale, but it will not add any cost to you, and it's a great way to help me support the channel and keep all of these videos going. Alright guys, that's it. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button. If you want to see more photography related content like this, hit that subscribe button and turn those notifications on. In the meantime, I will see you in the next one.